Today in the show, we have the House of Mouse headlines brought to you by laughingplace.com, your up-to-date resource for the latest Disney news every day of the week. This episode is being released on October 30th, 2024, and here's what's been going on in the world of Disney recently. Disney's latest paid Lightning Lane option, annual pass news on both coasts, exciting physical media releases, and more.
Hear the latest news from the Walt Disney Company in today's House of Mouse headlines.
The lobby lounge at the Disneyland Hotel has donned a new name befitting its Sleeping Beauty theme. The former Steakhouse 55 Lounge, which reopened without a new name earlier this year, is now officially known as the Broken Spell Lounge. Serving a menu of food, specialty cocktails, and other delights, the location is open daily at 4 p.m. So stop by for a drink or bite at the newly named Broken Spell Lounge at the Disneyland Hotel. A trio of new holiday dining experiences are coming to the Disneyland Resort this year. First, at Disney's Grand Californian Hotel and Spa, guests can attend holiday tea with Santa and Mrs. Claus at Hearthstone Lounge. Beginning on December 3rd, the premium dining experience features loose-leaf teas, tea sandwiches, and delicately prepared treats. Guests will also get to interact with both Santa and Mrs. Claus during the experience, which will run until December 24th, with bookings beginning on October 31st. Nearby, the Storytellers Cafe at the Grand Californian will offer 2 holiday experiences throughout the day. In the morning, guests can attend Mickey's Holiday Pajama Party breakfast and brunch. Beginning on November 19th, Mickey and his pals will greet guests in their pajamas as they enjoy the restaurant's delicious offerings, including some special holiday bites. Then, in the evening, there's the Storyteller Cafe Holiday Dinner. The all-you-care-to-enjoy dinner buffet is the perfect way to celebrate the holidays with the whole family. Both experiences will be available until January 1st, including Thanksgiving Day. Meanwhile, from November 19th through January 2nd, Goofy and his culinary team will bring guests festive food and holiday joy for all 3 meals of the day as part of Goofy's Kitchen Celebrates the Holidays. For more information on these experiences and to book, be sure to visit the Disneyland Resort website. A beloved holiday tradition is returning to Epcot this year, and Disney has announced the full lineup for its candlelight processional events. New narrators this year include Nico Santos, Titus Burgess, and Ralph Macchio. These stars will join returning favorites including Disney legends Josh Gad, Whoopi Goldberg, and Jodie Benson, as well as Brendan Fraser, Sterling K. Brown, Chrissy Metz, and more. Candlelight processional presentations will be held 3 times nightly from November 29th through December 30th. Additionally, dining packages for these events are available at select Epcot locations. A variety of new and returning festive additions are coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios and Disney's Animal Kingdom this holiday season. At Disney's Animal Kingdom, instead of sailing the waterways and holiday cavalcades, guests will be able to meet Santa Claus himself at Restaurantosaurus. Santa will be attending the 75th annual Dino Institute holiday party on the patio at Restaurantosaurus from November 12th to December 24th. Elsewhere in Disney's Animal Kingdom, the delightful Merry Menagerie will be returning, along with the seasonal Tree of Life awakenings that bring the spirits of winter animals to life. Guests can also meet Mickey and Minnie Mouse dressed in their festive finest together at Adventurer's Outpost. Over at Disney's Hollywood Studios, 3 new entertainment acts will fill the whole family with joy during regular operating hours, starting November 12th. Marvel at the skills of juggling elves, catch the jaunty jolly tunes of the Holiday Spirit Band, and pick up your feet to march along with Seasons Jukebox as they bring all the performance and pep of a collegiate marching band. These additions join returning elements such as the holiday overlay of For the First Time in Forever, a Frozen sing-along celebration, Santa greeting with guests at It's a Wonderful Shop, and Sunset Seasons greetings. In other words, there's no shortage of holiday fun to be found at the Walt Disney World Resort this November and December. Disney Cruise Line recently revealed a ton of news about the new Disney Adventure ship that will set sail from Singapore next year. Hitting some of the highlights, the ship will be home to Disney Cruise Line's first roller coaster. Iron Cycle Test Run will be one of 3 Avengers-themed attractions in the Marvel Landing area. Meanwhile, Disney also announced a new stage show called Remember that will star Wall-E and Eve. This new heartfelt show will also feature characters from Coco, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, and other classics. As with other Disney Cruise Line ships, the Disney Adventure will also feature rotational dining. Guests will be able to enjoy 3 dining experiences on their sailing, including a night at either Navigators Club or Hollywood Spotlight Club, one at Animator's Palette or Animator's Table, and another at Enchanted Summer Restaurant in either Tangled or Frozen-themed dining rooms. The Disney Adventure will also have 2 premium dining locations, Palo Trattoria and Mike and Sully's Flavors of Asia. The Disney Adventure will set sail for its maiden voyage from its home port in Singapore on December 15, 2025. Bookings for the ship are scheduled to open on December 10, 2024, and details on sailing dates will be released on November 14th. In the meantime, for much more from what was announced, as always, be sure to visit laughingplace.com. Another round of physical media releases for Disney Plus series are on the way. Later this year, the 3rd season of The Mandalorian, the 2nd season of Loki, and the 1st seasons of Ahsoka and Hawkeye will be released on 4K UHD Blu-ray. Each release will feature steelbook box art, plus they will include collectible concept art cards. Additionally, each of these collections includes a set of bonus features. Pre-orders for all 4 of these 4K sets will open on Halloween, ahead of the official December 3rd release date. Fans of Alien Romulus looking for a unique physical release of the film are in luck. During the Beyond Fest screening, director Fede Alvarez came on screen to announce the limited edition VHS set for release. It's currently unclear how limited this release will be, but the special VHS set will be available starting December 3rd. That happens to be the same day the film also debuts on Blu-ray and 4K for those who might no longer have a VCR at the ready. Marvel Studios' oft-delayed reboot of Blade has hit yet another snag, as it has been completely removed from Disney's upcoming release schedule. While the movie had recently been set for November 7th, 2025 release, Disney is now opting to release 20th Century Studios' Predator: Badlands on that date instead. While it seems that the film is still underway, Marvel has not shared any updates. Meanwhile, Predator: Badlands serves as a follow-up to the Hulu original Prey. After previously announcing that Daredevil Born Again was set to debut on Disney Plus next March, New York Comic Con brought an update on the series. At the event, it was announced that the follow-up to the Netflix series Daredevil would arrive on March 4th, 2025. In addition to Charlie Cox starring as the crime fighter once again, Wilson Bethel is set to return as Bullseye, John Bernthal will reprise his role as Punisher, and Vincent D'Onofrio is back as Wilson Fisk. Ahead of the new show's debut, you can currently catch the original Netflix show Daredevil on Disney+, along with other appearances from Matt Murdock and Kingpin, including Spider-Man: No Way Home, Hawkeye, She-Hulk, and Echo. Music by John Williams, the new documentary exploring the life and career of the iconic composer, will see a limited release at the world-famous El Capitan Theater. From November 1st through November 7th, the documentary can be seen on the big screen. Tickets for this special engagement are $21 and include popcorn. Tickets can now be purchased on the El Capitan website, and of course, if you can't make it to Hollywood, you can stream Music by John Williams on Disney Plus starting November 1st. When the popular reality series Project Runway steps off for its 21st season, it will do so on a new network. While the show has long been seen on Bravo, it will now be moving to Freeform as well as Hulu and Disney+. A specific premiere date for the show has not been announced, but it is expected to arrive on its new home network next year. In a statement, the president of scripted programming for Hulu Originals and ABC Entertainment, Simran Sethi, said, "We are excited to welcome the original series to the Disney family and reignite the fan base alongside Spyglass and Alfred Street, giving viewers the chance to once again share in discovering the next generation of exceptionally talented fashion designers." Disney has revealed 2 ways it will participate in this year's Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. First, a Minnie Mouse character balloon will debut in the iconic parade this year. Plus, in celebration of this, fans can explore a distinctive range of Minnie merchandise offered exclusively at Macy's. Also during the parade, Disney Cruise Line will premiere an updated float. This new float design showcases the bows of 8 Disney Cruise Line ships, highlighting the much-anticipated Disney Treasure, which is set to embark on its maiden voyage in December. Meanwhile, Captain Mickey Mouse and Captain Minnie Mouse will lead the float, accompanied by other special guests, including characters representing the narratives and adventures that will be showcased aboard the Disney Treasure, such as Aladdin, Princess Jasmine, Miguel, and Moana. The 98th annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade will take place in New York City on November 28th, and of course can be seen on NBC. Next year, the Walt Disney Company Board of Directors will have a new chairman as the search to find a successor for Bob Iger heats up. The Walt Disney Company Board announced that James P. Morgan will become chairman of the board effective January 2nd, 2025. On that same date, current chairman Mark G. Parker will depart the Disney board after 9 years. In his statement released in conjunction with the news, Gorman announced that the Disney company now expects to announce their choice for CEO in early 2026. Currently, Iger's contract continues through the end of 2026 following an extension in 2023. Commenting on the move, current Disney CEO Bob Iger said, "The Disney board has benefited tremendously from James Gorman's expertise and guidance, and we're lucky to have him as our next chairman, particularly as the board continues to move forward with the succession process. I'm extremely grateful to Mark Parker for his many years of board service and leadership, which have been so valuable to this company and its shareholders, and to me as CEO." And now it's time to bring back Kyle Burbank from laughingplace.com. How you doing, Kyle?
I'm doing well, Jeff. How about you?
It's the spooky week. I'm very excited.
It means you're almost done with your other podcast. That's why you're excited.
Tis true. This has been, not gonna lie, this has been a bit of a stressful year when it comes to that Halloween podcast. It's a lot. Partially due to, my own fault, procrastination, but also partially just because it's a lot. 31 podcast episodes in a month is insane. And it takes far longer than a month to produce it. But in any case, I'm excited for the day to be here. I'm excited. I really do get, excited like a kid during the week. And today, the day we're recording, is the Monday. And I'm just like, oh yeah, it's officially the week of Halloween. And I feel it. It's fun times. So it's here. I'm stoked. But shall we talk about some Disney news?
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be full of tricks and treats.
Yeah, well, mostly tricks this time around. Disneyland has officially announced Lightning Lane Premier Pass, the latest and priciest line-skipping service. Note that both Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass will remain available. Disneyland Resort is set to launch Lightning Lane Premier Pass on October 23rd, so it's already happened, with a limited number of passes available. Guests will be able to purchase these passes through the Disneyland app up to 2 days prior to their visit, starting at 7 a.m. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass allows guests one entry to each Lightning Lane entrance on that particular day, including all attractions from Lightning Lane Multipass and Single Pass. Notably, this pass also eliminates the need to schedule an arrival time in advance, giving guests more flexibility throughout the day. Those who purchase Lightning Lane Premier Pass also get PhotoPass photo and video downloads. One Lightning Lane Premier Pass can be used for both Disneyland Park and Disney California Adventure, and that stands in contrast with Walt Disney World's edition, which we'll get to in a minute. But at Disneyland, the Lightning Lane Premier Pass will be $400 per person per day for visits until December 31st, 2024. And then starting in 2025, the cost will vary on the date and demand, ranging from $300 to $400. Shall we stop and discuss, or should I just get through Walt Disney World's details as well?
Get through Walt Disney World's first, because I do think that the differences between them are pretty intriguing.
Okay, so for Walt Disney World, beginning October 30th, 2024, so the day that this episode is released, Walt Disney World Resort will pilot the Lightning Lane Premier Pass by offering very limited quantities of the service to guests staying at deluxe resorts or deluxe villa resorts, including Disney Vacation Club resorts. This option can be purchased up to 7 days before the beginning of your stay, with sales starting at 7 a.m. Eastern Time. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass allows guests at Walt Disney World to access each available Lightning Lane entrance in a single theme park for one-time use throughout the day, so this means that it does not include a park hopper option at Walt Disney World. The cost of Lightning Lane Premier Passes differs based on the date and the theme park. Initial pricing will be between $129 and $449 per person, excluding tax. So yeah, so a bit of a difference. I mean, the big difference I think is, obviously price, but also park hopper for Disneyland Resort. Not so much. I shouldn't say park hopper. You still need separate admission. This does not get you into the parks. This is in addition to your park. So if you do buy a single day park ticket for Disneyland Resort, although this allows you to use it in both parks, you're kind of only getting half the value. So that's actually something to keep in mind I hadn't really thought about.
Well, probably if you're at Disneyland Park, probably more than half. If you're at DCA and just buying a one day, one park and buying this, I don't know what you're doing. But I would be curious to know the number of, because I know the number of attractions at Disneyland and DCA together would vastly outweigh something at like something like Magic Kingdom or Epcot, but I do wonder about Lightning Lane attractions. I don't know the list well enough to know whether it's still like a pretty big, because what I'm getting at is I feel like the Disneyland one is a better value overall while still being way too expensive. But that's kind of the point.
Yeah, so the low end for Walt Disney World is $129.
But not like Magic Kingdom. Those are I don't want to say lesser parks, but lesser parks because they're pricing them lesser, so we can call them that.
Yeah, and the lowest end for Disneyland Resort will be $300 starting in 2025. So, that's a pretty considerable price difference. I mean, obviously, I don't love this. It seems like the online kind of thoughts on it is that it's complete crap, but it very much is, it makes sense. It's the Disney way these days. It's kind of this mix between individual Lightning Lane stuff and VIP tours. It's for the people in the middle there.
It's Express Pass is what it is.
Well, it's an Express Pass, but it's not. Well, here's the thing.
Without the unlimited version.
So Universal's been doing this for many, many years. And people might say, oh, Jeff, you're being a hypocrite here. But I fully support the Universal Express Pass. I hate this Disney version. And the reason is Universal Express, I've seen that in action for many, many years. Universal Express lines do not affect the standby queue. They just don't. They sell so few of them, and they don't have these plethora of other options. Would you like to hear the various ways you get to wait in a line at Disney parks now? Here they are. Lightning Lane Multipass, Lightning Lane Single Pass, VIP Tour, Disability Access, Club 33, although that might kind of just go into the whole Lightning Lane thing, but still, Club 33 has its own little thing. There's standby line. There's child swap. There's boarding groups or virtual queue if that's something. So, I mean, it's a ton of options. Whereas Universal, it's way more basic, and their Express Pass just doesn't affect the standby line. And that's the issue I have, is lesser and lesser of a good guest experience happening just week after week at the Disney parks. I had heard about this one coming. I didn't know the price point, but I was told it was going to be expensive. And I'm like, it doesn't surprise me. And listen, I can get pissed all I want. It's all based on do people buy it. And guess what? These will sell out. Like, there's no question about it. They're saying it's a limited quantity. And frankly, they've even said this is kind of a test, right? Like, I'm sure more will be added if these sell quickly. So, the Disney parks just are different places than they were, and I find it less fun and more annoying. But that's just me. It's not just me, but it's just me who is not willing to vote with their wallet, I guess. So,
now what you do is you grab yourself and 9 friends and you buy a plaid instead.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, this is a per person. Can you imagine $400 per person per day? That's crazy.
For like a family of 5? Yeah, that's
nuts.
That's huge.
Yeah. So, I mean, what do you think?
Well, I agree with you. But when I meant the value thing, I'm comparing like Disneyland to Magic Kingdom, because Magic Kingdom obviously has the highest price at Walt Disney World. So I'm saying I think the fact that you could do both Disneyland and DCA, and I think that the roster of attractions you'd get to go on with it would exceed Magic Kingdom. That's where I'm saying that's a better value. Obviously, $100-something while still being a lot of money because they don't have a ton of attractions on Lightning Lane. Obviously, that's a lot less. But yeah, I mean, it's something we saw coming. We've seen other Disney parks kind of test. But I think it's interesting how the 2 day. I'm also at Walt Disney. I'm copping all over the place, but the Walt Disney World one, where it's limited to fancy hotel guests who are already spending a lot of money, But also you can book up to it. It's that 7-day window. It applies to your whole trip. So if you have a 2-week trip for whatever reason, you could actually book the 7 days out of that 14 days. So you might be buying way in advance. If a lot of people are doing that, these things could sell out before even the fancy people can get to them. They have to be fancier. They have to get through the platinum door.
Well, that's because we've created class levels in the Disney parks, haven't we? That's the thing I wanted to ask you, though. Like, do you think they'll sell out? I mean, I do, but
I haven't heard anything about it yet.
The backlash has been pretty bad online, don't you think? Like, I mean, it means nothing, right? People complaining online means nothing.
I don't read Twitter these days. But I can imagine. I mean, of course I know that people aren't going to like it. Who's going to like it?
I don't know. People just swallow this stuff way more easily than I expect them to. I don't know. It's just crazy to me.
I'm surprised. I guess the Walt Disney World, as we're recording this, hasn't launched yet. The Disneyland one, I seriously haven't heard a peep about it, and it's been out for nearly a week now. So that's kind of funny to me, is that we haven't heard whether it's been selling out. I'd imagine as an annual pass holder, if you have a reservation coming up, you should be able to see whether it's available. We should probably do that. That sounds like something I should do as someone working for a website that covers such things.
Listen, I'd be fine with the Premier Pass if they got rid of the Lightning Lane options. If this were the only option, I would actually prefer this because I think they way oversell the other ones. I mean, it's pretty bad. I've heard it's gotten so bad, actually, that like it's visually terrible for standby, to the point that the specific example I've heard is that in Magic Kingdom, they have like a separate space or a certain point in line where they will hold the standby line because they're letting so many Lightning Lane people through that they don't want general standby to see that because it's just terrible optics. And so they're actually like keeping sections of the queue empty just to rush through Lightning Lane people. So
they did that with Fast Pass too.
Did they?
Yeah. There's been times I know people who have worked attractions and they'll have ratios of what they should be. And if Fast Pass got backed up, they would let in a higher ratio of Fast Pass guests to standby guests.
I've heard it's 99-1. I don't know how true that is or not, but I've heard it's 99-1, which is insane. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't
think it can be 99-1.
I don't know, man. I just don't get it. I mean, I do get it from a business standpoint. I just don't get why people accept it. It's crazy to me. But in any case, I will not be buying one. I can't ever see myself getting one of these things. But that's the news. Anything else you want to add before we move on?
Nope. Let's talk about something. I don't remember what's next on the list, but I'm sure it's equally as happy.
Yeah, it's about raising prices. All 4 Magic Key Pass types for Disneyland Resort go back on sale starting Wednesday, November 6th. The waiting room for the sale will open no earlier than 8:45 a.m. Pacific Time, and sales will begin no earlier than 9 a.m. Pacific Time. Renewals remain available for all pass types up to 30 days before pass expiration. So all pass types, I believe the last couple times they went on sale, it wasn't all passes available. So that's good, I guess, if you're trying to get one. The new prices are as follows. The Imagine Key, this is for Southern California residents only. It was previously $449. It is now $599. The Enchant Key was previously $849. It's now $974. The Believe Key was previously $1,249. It's now $1,374. And the top level, the Inspire Key, was previously $1,649. It's now $1,749. And there are still no Magic Keys that have no blackout dates. So even that highest level, it's like the week of Christmas or right around there, that has blackout dates. And yeah, I mean, some pretty hefty price increases, but they're selling out.
We already knew about the price increases from when they did the ticket update. Was that last month that they did that? But now we know when they're going to be going back on sale. I don't know why they couldn't have just told us that when they made the... they said later this... they said when they go on sale soon. And it was like 2 weeks later. So why couldn't you have just said that?
They wanted to give us 2 batches of bad news.
Spread it out.
Spread out the news. Walt Disney World also passes there. The Disney Incredipass, $1,449 previously, is now going to be $1,549. Disney Sorcerer Pass, previously $999, has crossed that threshold, $1,079 now. The Disney Pirate Pass. Does anybody remember these names, by the way?
No, as you're going through them, I'm reminded how stupid they are, except Sorcerer makes sense. Like that one's big. But Incredipass, like that's a thing?
I just mean like as far as the levels of them. And I guess maybe that's the point. It's funny. They're creating a class system, but they're phrasing them in ways so it doesn't sound like there's a class system.
Because if everyone's incredible, no one's incredible.
Not everyone is incredible. Some people are just Pixie. But who's to know that Increda is greater than Pixie? You know what I mean? Pixie's pretty cool. In any case, I digress. Disney Pirate Pass, previously $799, now $829. Disney Pixie Dust Pass, previously $439, now going to be $469. And as has always been the case, the lower three tiers are only available to Florida residents, with the only option for guests from another state or country being the highest Disney Incredipass. Price increases are also coming to certain one-day tickets, with a one-day, one-park ticket to Magic Kingdom reaching as high as $199 on peak days, which is $10 more than in 2024. I mean, it's kind of the annual gift that Disney gives us, right?
Yeah, and that $199 for like the busiest days, but that's interestingly less than Disneyland's.
Everything's more expensive here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's always, I mean, if you really compare the Disneyland versus Walt Disney World values, you're getting a much better bang for your buck, I guess. But at the same time, if you look at Magic Kingdom versus just Disneyland Park, there's way more attractions in Disneyland Park, even though Magic Kingdom's way bigger. So, you know, but yeah, and just Florida's cheaper to live in than Southern California, as is
I
most
do remember
places.
When Walt Disney World's annual passes were more than Disneyland's. And you're like, well, it makes sense. They have double the number of parks. And then that flopped a long time ago.
I was reminiscing once again. I've talked about this many times, but I'm just thinking of when I had that Premier Pass getting me to both coasts, paying $799.
Those sweet days of cast members having no idea what you were handing them and giving you a weird look, and then eventually asking a manager and letting you in.
I'm fine with that. If that's the struggle I have to go through for $799 price tag, I will do it. And yeah, I miss those days. And I miss 24-hour days. I miss the fun.
Well, I shouldn't say I never did a 24-hour day. I did go to a 24-hour day, but just during like normal hours when it didn't matter because I was covering it for media. But yeah, I had a Premier Pass for at least a couple of years. But I remember just how ridiculous the two resorts trying to communicate with each other. Like when Walt Disney World switched to the RFID thing, I got a pass with the RFID, and when I got back to Disneyland to get in, they're like, oh, well, we need to send them an email, so we'll just give you a free ticket to get in today. I'm like, you need to send an email and it's going to take a day to like get me my pass and you have to comp me in instead of just being like, this is ridiculous. So that's why the pass doesn't exist anymore, I'm sure.
Yeah, it is. It's bewildering how little they communicate. It is quite fascinating, but whatever. Can we talk about a discount for a moment?
Sure.
Let's talk about a discount for a moment, just so that we, it's not all about raising prices. This is good news for military members. Walt Disney World has announced the special rates that U.S. military members can enjoy throughout 2025 at select Walt Disney World Resort hotels. Members of the U.S. military can save on rooms at select Disney Resort hotels from January 1st through December 19th, 2025. So that's a good chunk of the year. Military members can save up to 30% on deluxe resorts, 25% on moderate resorts, and 20% on value resorts. It's important to note that the number of rooms allocated for this offer is limited, with the offer applying to active or retired U.S. military personnel, including active or retired members of the National Guard, reservists, the U.S. Coast Guard, the U.S. Space Force, the Commissioned Corps of the Public Health Service, and the Commissioned Corps of the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Spouses of military service members also qualify if they're able to present valid and active U.S. military IDs in the absence of active or retired military personnel or commissioned corps members. A valid military ID will be required at check-in, and the military member or spouse must stay in the room. There are exclusions, of course, so do your research. And they also have special 4-day, 5-day, and 6-day Disney military salute tickets, which are available to purchase at U.S. military bases, Shades of Green, and Walt Disney World Resort theme park ticket windows. That's interesting. You can't do that online at all. I guess it's the proof. You got to show the proof.
Yeah.
But yeah, so at least there's that. Discount. Yay.
As we all head to for voting day.
Voting day. Speaking of voting day, Broadway votes. That was a great segue, Kyle. Did you do that on purpose?
No, but yes. I also happen to be wearing a voting sticker.
Yay. Oh, you voted already? I still gotta go vote. Everybody
It
go
says
vote.
I voted absentee, which I appreciate that they have specific stickers for this.
Very nice. Go vote, especially if you're voting for the right person. Broadway Votes, the nonpartisan voting campaign from the theater industry, has released a new campaign video featuring a Newsies rewrite. We all know how much I love Newsies. Directed by Kenny Ortega and written with revisions by Alan Menken, Jack Feldman, and Harvey Fierstein, the new video features updated versions of Carrying the Banner and Seize the Day from the Tony Award-winning musical. Original Newsies cast members Cara Lindsay, Tommy Bracco, Ben Fankhauser, and Andrew Keenan Bolger all return. So this was a nice little surprise. I was not expecting that. I love these little things that we hear nothing about. There wasn't an announcement, or they didn't, obviously they kept it a secret, but none of them posted on social media like, hey, we're doing this thing. Can't wait for you to see it. It's just like, nope, one day there's a new version of Newsies songs with a full-on production value. Did you watch this video?
Admittedly, I did not. But as soon as I saw that it existed, I'm like, well, that's going on the list. That's something Jeff's going to want to include in the show.
I'm not going to lie. I actually had it in my notes to be sure to mention to you in case you didn't put it on the list. Because I was like, oh, we got to talk about this. But it was great. It was really fun and some just clever lyrics. And, it wasn't like this fan-made thing. It's the original people that made the show. I mean, Jeremy Jordan wasn't part of it because he's a little busy doing The Great Gatsby on Broadway, I guess. But
does he play Gatsby or
he's
Nick?
Gatsby? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think. He's the lead. I'll put it that way. I don't know The Great Gatsby that well, so
Nick Carraway is the main character. He's the narrator in the book.
Well, now I got to check. Let me see. Who does Jeremy Jordan play in The Great Gatsby? He plays Jay Gatsby.
Okay.
So there we go. He is the namesake of the show. He is the Great Gatsby. I'm not too familiar with the show. Was never a big fan of the book. Didn't care for the movie, the Baz Luhrmann movie. And I like Baz Luhrmann, but...
Okay, old sport.
Is that a line?
I mean, he says old sport like 500 times throughout the book.
Okay. All right. So there's that. Anything you'd like to add about Newsies?
Not about Newsies, no.
Okay. Well, I got a TIL for you.
Okay.
I'm not learning it today, but today I think you're going to learn.
I'm sure.
Only Murders in the Building producer, showrunner, John Hoffman. Do you know this name?
It sounds familiar, but no.
Okay. John Hoffman is the producer and showrunner of the hit Hulu series Only Murders in the Building. You know who else he is?
Who is he?
This blew my mind. When I tilled this, I was like, mind blown. I'm tilling a lot these days because of you.
I'm going to call you Tilly. Jennifer Tilly.
Take a guess. Take the wildest guess. If you had to guess one thing, what in the world of Disney might John Hoffman have done? I'll tell you if you're hot or cold.
Honey.
Honey, I Shrunk? No, it's a good guess knowing me, but that's pretty cold. I'll give you two more guesses.
Okay. Something he did in the world of Disney.
Something he did very much not like Fox or something.
No, I know.
Very, very much in the world of Disney.
Okay.
John Hoffman. People at home, play along.
How long ago? Like
in the 90s.
Okay. What would happen in the 90s?
If not the 80s. I think it was the 90s.
I'm trying to think of like the weirdest thing.
What came before Disney Plus?
Disney, like virtual Magic Kingdom?
No, it was something, the way that we pay for Disney Plus each month, we had something that we paid for every month with Disney back in the 80s and 90s.
Oh, like Disney Channel?
Disney Channel, we're getting warmer.
The premium one? Did he do Alice in Adventures in Wonderland?
You are steaming hot. Guess who he is?
In Adventures in Wonderland?
Mm-hmm.
The White Rabbit.
He is the Mad Hatter on Adventures in Wonderland. And he is the producer and showrunner of Only Murders in the Building. And I would have, he's one of those people, if I would like pop on a rerun of Adventures in Wonderland, I would have been like, I wonder what this guy's up to these days, IMDb. And assuming never worked again. Producer and showrunner of Only Murders in the Building. Mind blown. Kyle Till.
I tilled as well.
Isn't that crazy?
That's very. I used to love that show. I'm sure we've talked about this before.
It was a fun show.
I don't remember if that was. I guess it was probably still paywalled then because I don't really remember. I know that when I was 4 years old, we lived at a house that had Disney Channel while it was still a premium channel, and I definitely remember like Dumbo's Circus and the Winnie the Pooh show. But I feel like Adventures in Wonderland, maybe it was reruns. Maybe after after it was a basic cable or something.
Do you remember Under the Umbrella Tree?
No.
I really liked that one. Anyway, so that's a fun fact. Something else. Have you heard about this stage production happening in Hollywood of Alien Encounter?
I have. I heard it's supposed to have lots of fake blood that you will get soaked if you are in the audience.
Yeah, so guess who's going?
Jeffrey.
I'm going to be going in November. Trepanney houses parody production of Alien Encounter, created by Adam Franklin and Amit Idleman and sponsored by Titmouse, now running at the Titmouse Warehouse in Hollywood with some dates in November and January. Not December, though. But there will be blood. In fact, the press release comes with a warning or a promise, if you're into that kind of thing, stating, all caps, audiences will be covered in blood. Dress accordingly. They will experience 25 minutes of being face-to-face with a ferocious, flesh-eating extraterrestrial whose only instinct is to release carnage upon this planet Earth. The storyline parodies the original Disney experience, in which an audience witnesses an alien being transported into the very same room they're currently inhabiting and naturally breaks free. I'm looking forward to that. This is wild. My new friend Jeff that I met at Walt Disney World mentioned it to me first. I looked into it. I'm going to cover this. This is going to be some fun, and I'll probably wear a bathing suit.
I hope you take a before and after. Put that on an Instagram story.
All right. Sounds like a plan. But how fun. Somebody took the extraterrestrial alien encounter and made it a stage play. Brilliant. I also want to mention I saw a musical that you're going to say, what does this have to do with Disney, Jeff? Are you familiar with Kimberly Akimbo? Have you heard of this musical?
No.
It won the Tony Award for Best New Musical in 2023. And I'm going to be totally honest. I remember watching the Tony Awards and really not being impressed by many of the performances except for Kimberly Akimbo. And honestly, some of the people on the creative team, not my favorites. So I was surprised when I learned who was involved. I was like, I really want to see this. It's in LA right now. I went and saw it. I loved it. As I said, it won Best New Musical of 2023. The show tells the story of a lonely teenage girl, Kimberly, who suffers from a condition similar to progeria that causes her to age rapidly and thereby giving her the appearance of an elderly woman. So kind of Patch Adams-esque.
No, Jack.
Is that Jack? Oh yeah, Patch Adams is a different one. Jack, you're right. Very good. I love that we're in the same wavelength there.
Yeah.
Jack,
it was a Robin Williams movie of some sort.
Yeah. Very much like that. But I was like kind of an emotional wreck watching this show. Like, it was so beautiful, really funny as well. But I mention it because like they mention Disney several times. It's not a big part of the show, but they mention it. And then at the end, there's like video footage projected of like Walt Disney World. And I was like, holy crap, this is in Kimberly Akimbo. I kind of love that. And also, it's an original musical. It's not based on a movie or anything. So support it when it travels through your town. I really loved it. Like, I really, really, really loved it. Don't love the music so much, but story, production, cast. Oh, what a great cast. Loved it. So just wanted to mention it.
Very cool.
So there's that. And I feel like there's one other thing I should mention before we go. Although I'm going to save it for last and check with you first. Anything you want to touch on before we go?
Oh, I wanted to tell you that I was in Atlanta last week for the first time, spending time outside of the airport where I've spent many, many hours. But now I actually got to see the city. And while in downtown Decatur, my friend Ariel pointed out a coffee shop called Dancing Goat, I believe, and said that it was in Love, Simon. And I said, well, I know Jeffrey DePauli has gone to all the filming locations around Atlanta for Love, Simon. So is that the case?
Dancing Goat's Coffee Bar. I'm literally looking at a mug on my desk right now from Dancing Goat's Coffee Bar in Atlanta, which I hold all my pens in, and it's a prized possession of mine. Yes, whether or not there's more than one location, I don't know, but Decatur does sound familiar to me. So I have a feeling that was
a charming little area.
It was very cute, and I spent like all of 10 hours just exploring Atlanta and doing all the Love Simon locations. But first of all, love that you did that. Second of all, love that whoever you were with knew that. And a little sad you didn't go in.
Yeah, it was. I believe it was closed when we were there. We were there at night. But speaking of filming locations, I stayed in the TVA from Loki, and I can totally see that hotel is crazy. Like the architecture and stuff. I could totally see how someone saw that. I was like, oh yeah, we could totally make this seem like a sci-fi sort of a place. That's the Marriott Marquis in downtown Atlanta.
Was that the reason for the trip? No,
I went to a conference, but the conference was across the street. And so rather than stay at the host hotel, I'm like, well, I'm gonna stay at the Loki location, save $50 a night. Almost got walked. I got there late, like at 9-something at night, and they had to, the manager had to find me a room. I guarantee if I was not staying there for 5 nights, they would have said, yeah, sorry, we're overbooked. Bye.
That is so unacceptable. Overbooking stuff is the most absurd thing. I'm going to go on a rant. Hotels and airlines, it should never happen. You have X amount of rooms. Unless a room explodes that you're not expecting, that's the most absurd thing I've ever heard in my life. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know.
It's like rental cars. You rent a car, you reserve it in advance, and then you show up and it's not there.
Do you watch Seinfeld? Because you're doing a Seinfeld bit.
No, but it's true.
No, there's a famous Jerry Seinfeld episode where he's like, what do you mean you don't have the car? He's like, you know how to take the reservation, you just don't know how to hold the reservation. And that's really the most important part. Anyone could just take them.
Was his delivery better than mine? Mine was just angry. His was fine.
I mean, his is a little bit more comical, and you saw the arms I was moving around that the
Kermit
viewers
arms.
Can't see. There was some Kermit arms as he's taking reservations.
What's the deal with reservations? Is that what's the deal? No, that's a Jerry thing. Right?
There's not a what the deal in this one.
Okay.
I don't think.
Anywho, yeah, but I mean that's so crazy. I'm glad you got the room. But Kyle, there's something I want to mention that has nothing to do with Disney, but I think very much affects Disney. Do you know what I want to say?
I never know what you're going to say.
Universal Studios' next theme park in Florida, Epic Universe, has an opening date. It is May 22nd, 2025. We are mere months away from the next game changer coming to Florida and the theme park universe there. So it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a wild year in Florida. You know, exciting, but obviously a lot of tourists. We'll see how it affects Disney. It may affect it in a very good way. Who knows? But Universal's ticketing options are very kind of creative, I would say, as far as and we won't get into all the details, but there's a lot of like, you need to buy tickets to the other parks to get into Epic Universe. Like they know everybody wants to get to Epic Universe, and they're making you basically make it your resort home, kind of, as opposed to Walt Disney World. So it's pretty clever. And, you know, hopefully the word of mouth is phenomenal, as we're all expecting it to be. But if it's not, then they're really in trouble. But May 22nd, 2025. So that's big, big deal. And that's all I got for you this week. Anything else?
I heard a rumor that every ride is basically just the Fast and Furious ride system. And that's not
not
totally
true.
Kidding.
I was going to say that is.
No, I'm trying to think of what can make word of mouth bad about that park, and that would be.
Listen, the hype is very high, right? Like, I think there are very, 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 very high expectations, and you know, with high expectations, sometimes you're disappointed.
I know there's one land that I won't set foot in already, so there's
the Monsters one.
Of course,
that's the one I'm looking most forward to. Kyle.
Well, no crap, Jeffrey. We're different.
But, I mean,
people.
wait. You're scared of jump scares. You're not scared of
There's
monsters.
jump scares in the queue of the ride.
Okay, so don't go on the ride. You're not going to
No,
walk through that
I
gorgeous
assume
land.
that there will be jump scares. I would think that it's going to be low-key fright zone all the time.
Oh, I don't think so. It's a family park.
I think, I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to be like super gory or anything, but I would expect like there'll be characters that just kind of like appear behind you and they'll like, that's just part of the fun.
Frankenstein's monster is a friendly guy, so.
I mean, I have met him at Hollywood.
He's very nice. I'm excited about the windmill that catches on fire. Like, I think that's just going to be such a cool scenic view of that. And yeah, so that's happening. And I feel like, although it's not Disney, I feel like it's a very important dimension because Walt Disney World
put it on the list just to see, and then I was like, no, Disney coast to coast.
I appreciate it. You know me, I do like to stick things in their boxes, but I do think this is big news just for the theme park industry and also Walt Disney World. So we'll see how it goes. Other than that, Kyle, I have one thing to say to you.
What's that?
Happy Halloween.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say till for some reason.
No. Happy Halloween, Kyle.
Thank you. You too. I hope you have a great one, and I hope you take a break.
I mentioned this on the other podcast, but so for a long time, like, you know, my calendar's full and I have a lot of stuff that I need to do, but I did get to a point about a week and a half ago where I was like, there's just stuff I need to just push till November 1st. Like, there's no way I can let this be a priority right now. So I push everything to November 1st. And then like a week ago, I'm like, dude, I need a break. So I moved everything from November 1st to November 2nd. And I was like, I'm doing nothing November 1st. I'm shutting off my phone. That's not true. But I am going to definitely chill and not do much that day. So
good for you. I'm going to fly to Vegas that day. So that's
Are you
almost
really?
like doing nothing. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're going to be so close to me.
So close, but so far. By the way, we continue to extend this outro with more side notes.
Yeah.
Do you know how badly I was hoping I would run into Phil DeFranco in Georgia just to make you so angry that I saw him while in Atlanta when you were trying for so long to see him in Los Angeles?
I would be so angry. Here's the thing. I wouldn't be angry. I would be envious, but I'd be so happy for you. There's a video of him talking to me. Have I ever told you this? By the way, folks listening, Phil DeFranco is Kyle and I's YouTube obsession. There's nothing I watch regularly on YouTube other than Phil DeFranco, who gives me my news. But he did VidCon or something, and somebody I know went, and this person got a photo with Phil, and they're not allowed to take video. Like, it was a hard rule, like no video, just photos. But it wasn't Phil's rule. It was like the convention's rule. And so my friend goes up with the video and is like, can you just say hi to Jeff? Like, he watches you every day. Just say. And Phil's like, hey, Jeff, thanks for watching every day. But like, I'm going to get in trouble. And here they come. Here comes security. So there's like a video of him talking to me. But no, I've never met him. And now he doesn't live in LA anymore. I wanted to run into him so badly. I think it was mostly a hermit, though. I should have gone hiking. That's what I should have done.
So maybe you should go back to Atlanta, hike, and then revisit all the Love Simon, and I don't know if they shot Love Victor there or what, but go see those locations again.
I actually do want to go back to Atlanta at some point because there's is that where the puppetry museum is, the Center for Puppetry Arts? I think that's in Atlanta as well. I could be mistaken. It's either Nashville or Atlanta. I can't remember which. No, I think it was Atlanta. And then there's like a Coca-Cola museum, I believe.
Yeah, that was really close to my hotel, but it cost money and it was only open during like the day when I was going to the conference, so it didn't make sense to go, unfortunately. I wanted to go get some Vegeta Beta.
I don't know what Vegeta Beta is, but I'm sorry you didn't get any Vegeta Beta. I like saying the word Vegeta Beta.
It was a drink that they used to have at Club Cool. I think you can still get it at the World of Coke location at Disney Springs.
How do you spell Vegeta Beta?
I don't know. Don't ask me such things.
Vitamin Vegemin.
Thank you, Lucy.
There we go. All right, we're going to call it a day. Kyle, I'll talk to you again in a couple weeks, and happy Halloweeny.
Bye.
You have heard the news, and now I want to hear what you have to say about it. What do you think of the new Lightning Lane Premier Pass? Share your thoughts on that or any other topics mentioned in today's episode. Call 818-860-2569, and you may just hear yourself on a future episode of Disney Coast to Coast. Thanks for tuning into this episode. Don't miss any future episodes by subscribing and following Disney with a Z, Coast to Coast on your favorite podcast app, where episodes are available 24/7. This episode has been executive produced by Jeffrey Riccio. Gain rewards like Jeffrey, including access to never-before-heard episodes and live-stream Ask Me Anythings, by visiting the Patreon link in this episode's description. Until next time, anything you need can be found in this episode's description, from the DCTC hotline, where you can leave a voicemail and be heard on a future episode, contact info to reach me, some free gifts from me to you, and so much more. So be sure to check out this episode's description. Other than that, folks, have a magical day and a happy Halloween. Bye!